What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hot Radio. Shout in as always. I got my podcast partner off in this thing. OG Gangsta Wicked, a.k.a. Big Galaxy of Ghetto Mafia.
What's happening?
Hey, man, you know, everybody's in the uproar right now. You know, they're talking about all of the executive orders that, you know, President Trump has been putting out since he's gotten in office. I mean, he didn't waste no doggone time. He's been doing so much stuff, people can't really even keep up with what's all going on right now. I mean, what are your thoughts on just starting with the pace at which he's making changes?
You know, you and I now, I can't wait to get in here and talk about this because a lot of folks don't cuss me out. When I first started, I kept saying that the blueprint for us, for like-minded people like us, because it ain't a skin color thing. It's us. When I be saying us, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, people that think like us.
Exactly.
And the blueprint, Trump is giving us the blueprint right in our face.
What's the blueprint, Rick? The
blueprint is, if you don't get your ass in line, then I'm gonna cut your paper off. If you don't do what I want you to do, and I ain't gonna say him, people that think like him.
Yeah,
you got people, because there's black people in that think like that also.
Exactly.
So it's a us against them as far as mentality going, thinking. And he's letting you know that if you don't get in line, then you can get out of here. He's doing that with the federal workers. If you don't align with what my side feels, then we'll give you severance pay and you can get on up out of here. He's doing with the Medicaid. That's really gonna hurt a lot of people. When people start when you look up and you can't go to the doctor or you can't take the kids to the doctor and stuff, that hits right in the, that's a sucker punch. That hits you right in the gut. Okay. I sat right here with you the other, and Turk last week, and I kept saying that the only way out of this right here, our back is against the wall, and what we have to do now is not going out here riding no more, burning down no buildings that already have insurance that they're gonna build back bigger and better than ever. Yeah. Talking crazy on the internet, blah, blah, none of that's gonna work. What's gonna work is we have to do exactly what Trump is doing. Yeah. We have to hit them in the pockets. We have to take our bag and go home. Yeah. Take our football and go home, if you want to, put an analogy like that. Spend our money, build our own communities back up, and then now we have empowerment to be able to affect change in Congress. He who holds the gold makes the rules. I don't know why niggas don't get that part. But what black folks are still waiting on is this fake ass handout that for Santa Claus to come down the chimney and give us gifts. That's what we've been brainwashed to talk. Reparation really is due to us. We built this. We get it. We get it. You know how many times I don't been played by, if we take it to just street stuff, you know what I'm saying, that I feel like that, I don't did all the work and I got the short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? So what can I do? Either I can kill the person, wind up in jail with both of us gone, or I could take my talents
elsewhere.
And that's back to people that value it. Take it over to Beehive. If I see that this, you said you did it. You was at the station. Yep. They didn't value your talent. You could have came in there and went postal, or you could have came in here and empowered Wick and Turk and this and that and that. And then it don't help all of us. Now you got 5 or 6, other entrepreneurs out here doing the same thing. Yeah.
No, you see what I'm saying? I mean, you're right.
And I don't think we're getting that part. We're still waiting on this fake ass Santa Claus, this handout. I get it. We was like, we were wrong. To be honest with you, I'm gonna give you some game. America ain't all the people that owe us reparations. Africa owes it to us too, because a lot of them were the ones that sold us into slavery. People think, I'm gonna give you a quick history, because they always leave this part out. Yeah. Our FBA, our sisters and brothers over here, oh man, it was just, they came with 30 people on the ship and to a country with 1 billion and just took all the niggas. No, that's not how it happened. What they did is they came over and they dealt with our African kings and queens that saw you as less than. You understand what I'm saying? There were families that right now are rich from slavery because of They found you. They raided the villages of the less than. Say, hey, we got some niggas for you that you can have. You can have these for the low right here. As long as you empower this side of it. You understand what I'm saying? And right now, they have money and stuff. They benefited off of slavery just like America did. Over time of America kept coming over and having to deal with, you know what I'm saying, the kings and the queens and the power that be in Africa. They said, you know what? We don't learn the lay of the land now. We know exactly where they're going to get these things from. So now I can cut the plug off. I can go straight to the villages now because I've learned.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, now I feel you.
I watched where you were going. Oh, that's where they going to get the niggas from. Oh, they look at them niggas as less than these niggas over here. You see what I'm saying? So you know what? I ain't got to bring them guns and liquor and money and none of that stuff no more and teach them this or blah, blah, blah. I can go straight to the source.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. So both really owe us if we're waiting on a reparation from somebody.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to what I was saying now, Beehive, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you. You know, nobody wants free money, and I ain't gonna say free money. Nobody wants money more than me. You know, I watched my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? They came up in the slavery era. A lot of us did. I'm sure you did too. But like you and I have been pushing, this is what we have to understand. It's not coming. Help is not coming. No rich damn. No rich Republican, no rich rappers, no rich actors, no none of that. It's us. We got to take our bag, our $1 trillion spending power, and go home.
Well, now, I understand exactly what you're saying, Wick, and I definitely agree with help not coming, but we still do have black people that are elected officials that are in those rooms that can speak up for us and get some money back towards us. The analogy that I'll use to better break it down for those that don't want the help is if I'm living in a house that I'm renting and I'm paying rent every month, but then the water's not working, the AC ain't working, it's mold all over the house and it's rats infested and all of this extra stuff, but you want your rent every month. That's similar to me paying my taxes
Then
every
you take your rent and go home.
Now you can take your you can take your rent and go home, but you can't take your taxes and go home. That's the issue.
That's the issue, yeah.
That's the issue right there. We can't say, okay, if you don't like it, then move that back to Africa. Take your butt back to Africa.
Right.
So if we're not about to take our butts back to Africa, we still have a debt that's owed to us that we still have to work on. Now that ain't got to be plan A,
right?
But it does have to be a part of the plan.
And I'm with you. I'm with you.
See what I'm saying? It has to be a part of the plan.
I'm with you.
Now, as far as us organizing, like you said, it ain't a color thing. It's a po folk thing, or just a middle class thing and a regular thing. If you notice, that wealth gap is starting to get a little bit more wider. And in a second, like we was talking the other day, you could be sitting over here making $150,000, $200,000. You still can't afford to buy a house barely.
Exactly.
So that means that you ain't no better off than anybody making $15,000, $30,000 a year.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that means that the wealth gap is changing to where you can't even afford to buy a house and own a piece of the American dream. Because now it's starting to seem even more like a dream now, because now we can't afford nothing, because no matter how much money you making, thanks to inflation catching up with your ass, you can't afford to have nothing. Interest rates through the roof and all of that stuff. Now, that was one of the main issues that folks was having, and that was one of the things that Trump was running on, was that, you know what, I'm going to bring these prices back. And I'm going to put more money in your pocket.
Well, how that's going to work out for you?
And that's the issue that people are seeing right now. They're seeing that, that wasn't the first thing on the agenda.
Exactly.
So with that being said, we got to create our own agenda. And what is some of the first things that we do? It's community building and organizing. We got to go to these banks, and I mean, we got black banks, we got white banks, we got all kinds of banks, but whichever banks are going to support the community and give equity to everybody inside that community, those are the banks that we need to be supporting.
Exactly.
Now, as far as Trump is concerned, I wanted to go through some of the things that he has done since taking office.
Okay.
Now, with government spending, this is according to the BBC.com, he put a halt to federal aid, a 2-page memo from the Office of Management and Budget and sent to government agencies ordered a pause to all grants and loans until mid-February to ensure all programs match the administration's agenda. The action is now on hold right now. Then you got the Doge and Elon Musk. Trump has signed a directive creating the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a new advisory body on cutting government costs. It is expected to be led by Elon Musk, who Trump separately said would get in office for about 30 employees. So now on top of that, you got a freeze on federal hiring. Another order halts any new federal hiring, except within the U.S. military and several other categories, until the Trump administration has full control over the government. Then it said federal employees returning to office. Trump has also signed a memorandum mandating that federal workers must work in the office and they are not allowed to work from home anymore. As far as defense is concerned, Trump signed an order mandating the process to build a missile defense shield called an Iron Dome to protect the U.S. He also enacted moves to reshape the U.S. military by eliminating DEI programs and barring transgender recruits from enlisting. And as far as immigration is concerned, it's a national emergency. Trump has proclaimed that America's sovereignty is under attack, declaring this to be a national emergency that allows him to free up more funding to reinforce the border with Mexico. As far as the border wall is concerned, the same directive tells officials to relaunch efforts to build a border wall with Mexico that was started under his first presidency. This is not an executive order, and it is unclear how such an effort might be funded. Then you got birthright citizenship. Trump has ordered that officials deny the right to citizenship to the children of migrants, either in the U.S. illegally or temporary on visa. And this is facing legal challenges right now as we speak. Then he got into terrorism designation for gangs and cartels. Trump has designated drug cartels and international gangs as foreign terrorist organizations, adding that the likes of the Salvadoran gang MS-13 to the list that includes the so-called Islamic State. To a list that includes the so-called Islamic State. And let's see.
I wonder if the Proud Boys on that list, like the KKK and Proud Boys, are they on that domestic terrorist list? Which I'm sure they're not.
See there? Now you got the tariffs. Trump has said blanket tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico could come on February 1st. He has ordered federal officials to review U.S. trade relationships for unfair practices, including those with Canada, Mexico, and China. And let me see, they doing the stuff on climate and energy. The World Health Organization, they're removing the U.S. from the UN's health body. Diversity and gender, transgender people. Trump has declared that the U.S. will only recognize two sexes, male and female. These sexes are not changeable and are grounded in fundamental and incontrovertible reality. It will affect official documents like passports and visas. And an executive order called Protecting Children from Chemical and Surgical Mutilation will restrict access to gender-affirming medical care such as hormone therapy and surgery for minors. The DEI, he said a memo followed by an executive order has shut down all the offices of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs within the federal government. And then as far as TikTok is concerned, Trump has signed a directive postponing by 75 days the implementation of a law that would ban Chinese-owned TikTok in the U.S. unless a new American owner was found. Trump formally backed the TikTok ban, but indicated he reversed course after his campaign videos attracted billions of views. And he pardoned hundreds who stormed the U.S. Capitol, commuting the sentences of Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys. Let's see, he pardoned anti-abortion activists. 23 people described by the White House as peaceful pro-life protesters were pardoned by Trump. 10 of them were prosecuted under the Biden administration for blocking an abortion clinic in D.C. back in 2020. And these are some of the things that's going on. I mean, now he's reversing a lot of the Biden policies, American First, Israeli settler sanctions, regulatory freeze, unvaccinated federal workers. As a part of a directive reversing Biden-era policies, Trump revoked a mandate that federal workers must be vaccinated with the COVID vaccine. He has promised to reinstate 8,000 military service members who were discharged over this. Now, about the economy. You know, he's tackling inflation. Trump has signed a directive asking the U.S. federal department and agency to address the cost of living. The directive, which is not an executive order, asks agencies to look at lowering the cost of housing, health care, and key household items, groceries, and food. It asked for a report in 30 days. It's not clear how the Trump administration intends to lower these costs, and this is not detailed in the directive. Then you got the stuff going on.
I can tell you how he intends to lower those prices.
Okay, and then you got the secret documents, the declassification of the JFK records, the RFK records, and the Martin Luther King records, renaming the Gulf of Mexico. And these are just some of the things that have occurred since Donald Trump has taken office, man. I mean, what are your thoughts on all of the things that he's been doing so far?
Well, the last one that I can remember that you just said, because so many of them, I can tell you how he plans on tackling inflation and cost of living and food and all that. That's to take money from programs that benefit poor people. So that's how he's going to tackle that. It's definitely not going to take from people in his class of wealth. You understand what I'm saying? So that's definitely going to come on the backs of us. Yeah, we'll lower eggs, but it's going to cost you this right here. It's going to cost you your Medicaid. We'll lower this inflation over here, but it's going to cost you this on this side. So we're gonna brunt the bill when it comes to all that right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know, I do want to take up for men, because I see that, a lot of there's a narrative out that Mexican men, which are being deported at alarming rate now, and black men, we kind of roll with Trump. But here was the choices. We had, a party that ran on raising our kids the way they wanted to raise our kids, or showing our kids whatever they wanted to show our kids. You had that, or you had a motherfucker calling us a name. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of what, that's why I kept saying, we in trouble. We gotta, it's on us now. It's really, see, that the lights have come on in the club and it's time to go home and be high.
Wait a minute. Did you just tell me that Trump just cut the lights on in the club?
Just cut the lights on in the club, but niggas don't want to go home. You know what I'm saying? We still waiting for one more act. You understand what I'm saying? One more celebrity to come across the stage. Nah, nigga, it's time for us. Like I said, and it's hard to do. We're going to take, maybe 2 steps back to take 5 forward. And you're right when you say that you're paying into a system that does owe you. When you're paying into a system, you're right. But that can't be the number one thing. See, that's
the number one thing on my paycheck. See, when my paycheck comes in, that's the number one thing that's coming out. So it's not the number one thing, but it's right. It's one A and one B.
Right. And agree, but. But that's still in the power of the plug that has fucked you. You see what I'm saying? So now what you do when you have been okay, so you want to put it in these terms. You don't work all month for your rent.
That's right.
The job that you work for, the most pressing thing right now is for me to survive and take care of what I have to take care of right now.
That's right.
Because I can't wait on you. And that's all I'm saying right there. So I get it. You are owed into a system. But the most pressing thing right now is we have a guy. We have the plug.
That's right.
That is saying you can't go to the doctor. That is saying blah, 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 blah. Every day he's implementing something to screw you over. What is going to stop that immediately is me stop giving you my money. You cannot reward a child that's acting out with ice cream and cookies.
That's right.
And that's what I'm telling you. Anytime these mandates are coming out right now, and we'll turn right around and go buy a brand new car from Chevy. We'll go right around there, go in there Walmart and then buy stuff from there. So you gotta start doing what he's put the blueprint out. When I want China to act right, if they don't do what I want them to do over here, you know what? I'm gonna raise the tariff so high that it's gonna hurt their pocket.
That's right.
With Colombia, if I want you to take back your citizens and you tell me go to hell, well, you know what? I'm gonna impose some sanctions on them, I'm gonna hurt your pocket. An hour later, the president, well, we'll take them back. We were just saying humanely. And that's what he's doing. He's showing you the blueprint.
That's right.
If you don't get in line,
that's right,
then I'm gonna hit you in your pocket. pockets. Why are we not taking the same blueprint? It works.
Well, no, I agree that works 1,000%. But this is my question to you, though, Wick. If we're going to be a community, how do we get rid of the envy? How do we get rid of the jealousy?
Yeah.
How do we get rid of the player hating that occurs in our community that won't allow us to empower each other?
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing. See, we are so divided that we can't come together and be a force.
Yeah.
But I've seen it through high time media.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of brothers come together and create an independent media outlet in Atlanta that ain't been done before digitally.
Right.
It ain't been done before, and folks is trying to figure out, why won't they go away? Why are they getting bigger? Why are they getting stronger? Why is their influence growing in a magnitude that they can't nobody deal with? Why are they passing other folks? Because we all came together and we talked.
And we're playing. And
we said, hey, what can I do for you?
Exactly.
What can you do for me?
Exactly.
Guess what? I'm going to do the best I can do for you. You do the best you can do for me. And we're going to go out here and we're going to win.
Well, we're bringing different skill sets to the table, and in the community, that's what we have to do. Like I said, we sitting here worried about, food might be growing up 20, 30%.
Yeah.
Well, then we need to have a lot of our brothers and sisters out here now already thinking about growing food.
Exactly.
We need to start getting the seeds to life.
Or supporting our brothers and sisters that's already growing food.
Exactly.
Get the money towards them so they can grow more.
So they can grow more food, exactly. Like I say, we 300-400 years, of being taking handouts and being cool. We've been players. We've been chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of our women, but they've been chilling.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying everybody. We got hardworking black folks, but the vast majority of our community, they are talented. They do have skills, and now we got to call upon each other to execute those skills. If you don't execute these skills, then you got to get the fuck from here. Then you go on over there on the other side, because the other side has shown you how they finna treat you.
Yeah.
They don't want you to have a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And they don't get and they ain't coming down the chimney and giving you nothing. They would tell you fuck goddamn reparation.
Yeah.
So you got one choice. You can get you asking how we so divided. Well, we ain't gonna be divided when niggas' bellies are hurting. When motherfuckers are dying, you gonna come on over here with a skill set, and you're gonna bring to this culture over here, or you go over there and let them treat you how they're obviously doing with this Project 2025 agenda that's going on right before our face.
Well, see, this is the other thing that's crazy. I don't know if you caught this on in the news lately. They were saying that recently they were celebrating, I think, like about 80 years since the Holocaust. The Jewish people, they were coming together, saying that, hey man, this happened. They were grieving the loss of their families and stuff like that. And the theme and the slogan for everybody that survived the Holocaust is never again.
Right.
However, Elon Musk, he went over there to Germany and said, hey man, y'all dealing with too much guilt over here. Y'all feeling guilty about this Holocaust and all of this extra stuff. Now, you got one set of people saying never again, and then you got another set of people saying, hey, man, maybe we have been too guilty. That sounds familiar to you, don't you? It reminds you of slavery. When they say, hey, man, it's white guilt. Folks is feeling guilty about slavery. Well, it happened, and it set us back. So now you see yourself coming into a situation to where, they setting up the plays to set you back again.
Exactly.
So now what are you going to do? Are you going to say, I'm white, I'm Jewish, I'm black, and I'm going to be divided? Or are you going to say, hey, I'm white, I'm black, I'm Jewish, and we are all going through hell. We coming together to make this thing better and to make it work and to get it in the right direction. Because see, now it ain't a color thing no more. But I saw Elon say that over there to the German folks over there. I said, they taking this party across the globe again. So, okay, if you're going to take the party across the globe, when is the time to say no?
Right.
See, in every man's life, there's a moment to where you got to say no. And you don't know what the repercussions might be from you saying no, but you got to be ready to draw that line and say no.
Right.
It reminds me of a time during COVID, 5 years ago, 2020. Wick, I was what they called an essential worker during that time, man. That meant that even though the world was shut down, and the press was saying that COVID was running rampant in the streets, That means if everybody pressing the same elevator button to get upstairs, everybody open up the same door handle, they passing out COVID like free lunch out here, okay?
Right.
But as an essential worker, that meant that I had to go to work every day and work straight through it when everybody else was in the house. I remember riding down the streets, Wick, and I felt like I was in zombie land because nobody was in the streets other than the essential workers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I survived that. Then they turned back around and said, hey, man, it's time for you to get the shot. You need to be able to get this jab, this COVID jab.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking to myself, y'all didn't care. I was an essential worker. Nobody cared that I was out here risking my life to go to work every day without a jab. So should nobody care if I choose not to get a jab when it's time to get one because I done been through the worst of it already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, Wick? At that moment, I knew it was time for me to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to be some repercussions behind me saying no.
But you had to take a step back.
But I had to take a step back, to take a step forward to make sure that me and my family was going to be all right. So I said, and it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
It was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that I didn't even want to speak on out loud during that time because we had people dying of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, what I looked like said, hey, don't go get it, and them folks is out here dying. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to make the choice for me and mine.
Mm-hmm.
You make the choice for you and yours.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back at it, hindsight 2020, when you find out that they're over there revoking everything that they had set in place with that, and then a lot of different other stuff was going on, now we all looking crazy again. But I say that to say, I said no. Mm-hmm. And I lost my job because I said no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that didn't feel good. You worked someplace 17 years, working your ass off. You are an essential worker. You done damn near died going to work during COVID. But then they say, hey, man, you got to get a jab to keep this job. And then you have to say, you know what, y'all? No.
Right.
I don't care how hard it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to be ready to say no.
That's what we got to do as a community. You're making a point for me. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? But we got to take our money and take our bag and go home. The game is over. Club is over, man. Take our football and go to the crib with it, man, and figure out.
But do you think we'll be able to come together as a community, though, Wick, and
Absolutely.
work together? Do
Absolutely.
you think
We
folks
gotta-
are going to be able to get over these racial barriers and say, all right, now, you know what, we need help? Because, see, this is the issue. See, now, this is what's going on, too, now, Wick. You got the immigration stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the immigrants, they need our help right now.
Mm.
They need help from black folks, and they need help from white folks.
They ain't never helped us with a goddamn thing.
That's
That's
the
the thing.
question. See, that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they need help right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? Do we say, okay, our immigrant brothers and sisters, y'all can go back to deplorable conditions and we don't care? Or do we say, you know what, we going to come in here and help y'all fight a good fight and try to find ways to keep y'all in here? But then once again, that line was drawn when folks couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So when we looked up and, George Floyd was going on and everything else was going on in the country for us, we was thinking, okay, who was standing with us? Who was helping us? Who was really trying to evoke some change around here to save our black lives? We had to say Black Lives Matter just to let folks know that we want to live around here.
Yeah, people came out, said, well, white lives matter, all lives matter, this
Come on.
lives matter, basically, nigga, fuck y'all.
Come on. So then you got that same division going on. You got white folks that, like Turk was saying the other day, just as poor as black folks going through the same thing, but they over there by themselves going through it because there ain't even a black person in their community to even fight with them because they in an all-white community just going through hell.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So when do we draw the line and say, okay, everybody, we all gonna rub our nickels together and create a community for ourselves that we can all thrive in?
Well, that's a question that I think we should pose to the people. I want to say this to anybody out there. I'm not a politician.
That's right.
I didn't go to college for law and statutes or nothing. When I get on here, I'm speaking from a street, a human, a common sense.
Come on.
Position.
Come on.
There's a lot of people that's black that's smarter than me when it comes to, namely you, one of them.
I'm just as smart as everybody else.
And there's a lot of people out there in the comments. So if you specialize in the book parts of this, and you can tell us certain things or tell me certain things to enlighten me, then I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have all the answers, but I do know common sense shit.
Yeah.
And I equate stuff to the streets. rewarding and doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying, that has always failed you, it's the definition of a dummy.
Come on.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
I think that we got to have some more people organizing around here, working together, putting their monies together, putting their resources together to allow us to all be able to thrive a little better. You know, we need y'all to hit these comments, though. We need to know what is it that needs to be done. How do you feel about all of the executive orders that's going on with Trump right now? What do you think needs to be changed? What is it that you agree with? Because, I mean, you might not disagree with everything that he's saying either. Some folks might agree. Some of the stuff, where do you draw the line at? What is it that you feel like can stay? What do you feel like can go? Because don't get it messed up. We still got a voice. We still got a dollar to spend. So now, where do we put this money in order to empower each other to make sure that life is good? Because one thing about it, though, Wick, if you put money into black businesses and into each other's communities and stuff like that, if you got money, you ain't mad about nothing.
Absolutely.
So we can still take care of each other by supporting each other. And that's just what that is. Be High Radio Shout at Big Galaxy. Hit the comments. Let us know how you feel. And we're going to get back with you ASAP. We gone.
Yes, sir.